Hello, my name is Samsa, and the book that I'll be reading today is The Top 10 Distinctions Between Millionaires and the Middle Class by Keith Cameron Smith. And this book was recommended to me by my mentor, and it's basically a 10 mental checklist on how to become wealthy. So even if you don't read the whole book, you can just skim through the table of contents and see if it applies to you or not. And it's a fairly short book. It's about 110 pages and it's really small, so you could read it in one day. Let's get started. A note on the order of the distinctions. I have arranged the distinctions in descending order of importance. This arrangement is based on my own experiences as an entrepreneur, as well as on the success and failures of other millionaires. I believe that distinction 10, millionaires think long term, the middle class thinks short term, is the necessary starting point for achieving success because it makes you focus on what you want. Most people focus on what they don't want and never set goals for what they do want. The importance of distinctions 9 through 2 could be rearranged to fit your own life during the season that you are going through. Always remember that success is a journey as well as a destination, and the road is always under construction. I really like how he ends this introduction. And, when you read books about becoming wealthy, you wish that you could be wealthy in a week or a month, but it's just another good reminder that being wealthy is gonna take you a long time. So you need to be patient with yourselves. So, distinction 10: millionaires think long term. The middle class thinks short term. Society can be broken down into five groups of people: the very poor, poor, middle class, rich, and the very rich. Each group of people thinks differently about money. Very poor people think day to day, poor people think week to week, middle class people think month to month, rich people think year to year, and very rich people think decade to decade. I think it's a good checklist, like where you fit in the five different groups. Usually, I thought the world is like, okay, there's poor people, middle class, and rich people, but he divided into five groups. There are three primary goals that can be found in the mindsets of these five social groups. The primary goal for the very poor and the poor people is survival. The primary goal for the middle class people is comfort. And the primary goal for the rich and the very rich is freedom. And this is where it struck me, where uh, the reason why I want to be wealthy is not just to have lots of money, but actually to have freedom. Freedom to be where I want, whenever I want, with whomever I want. So I define success as living every day like a Saturday, meaning that you have no commitments, you can sleep in, you can do whatever you want on that day. So, the goal for the rich and the very rich is freedom, which is exactly what I want, and that is why I want to be rich. The reason that a very poor and the poor people seek to survive and the middle class seeks to be comfortable is because they have a scarcity mentality. They believe that there's not enough money for everyone to have more than enough. The rich and the very rich know the truth. There is enough money for everyone to have more than enough. What you believe about money has everything to do with how much money you will make. If you have a scarcity mentality, then you will seek to survive or just have enough to be comfortable. If you have an abundance mentality, you will seek freedom. The old saying, seek and you will find, is true when it comes to your finances. You really do get what you look for in life. If you seek to survive, you will. If you seek to be comfortable, you will be. If you seek freedom, you will find it. There is a power in long-term thinking. It can and will make you rich if you make into a habit. Stretch your thinking further into the future. The longer you can stretch your thinking into the future, the richer you will become. Most multimillionaires I know have business plans that reach at least 10 years into the future. When I first started thinking year to year, my income really started to increase. I asked myself questions like, how can I double my income this year? How can I legally pay less in taxes this year? As I have seen this principle of long term thinking in the lives of my mentors, it has challenged me to look further into my future. I now have business plans that go 20 years into the future. I spend time on a regular basis thinking about what I want my life to be like 5, 10, and 20 years from now. Then I create plans for how to get there. What would your life look like to to be 10 years from now? Think about it and start planning for it. Think long term requires patience. Patience is an asset in the life of millionaires. Impatience is a liability in the life of the middle class. Middle class people want instant gratification. I was like that for many years. Whatever I wanted, I charged to my credit card or put a little bit down and made payments on the balance. Now I wait for the things I want because my goal is more freedom, not comfort. Rich people and very rich people have developed the discipline of delayed gratification. Millionaires do today what others don't, so they can have to tomorrow what others won't. The very poor and the middle class will never be free. More and more freedom is the goal of the rich and the very rich. They love to be in control of their lives. The very poor and middle class have put control of their lives into the hands of others, which ironically are the hands of the rich and the very rich. Millionaires value freedom over comfort, and because they do, they get both. Because the middle class values comfort over freedom, they will never be free. Set more long term goals. In order to move from poor to the middle class, or from the middle class to the rich, or from the rich to the very rich, just start planning your life further into the future. Set long term goals for your life. People overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year and underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years. When you have a long-term goals, you will find it easier to develop perseverance. All millionaires have had to persevere through challenges in their lives. In order to see your dreams fulfilled, you have to become a whatever it takes kind of person. Middle class people give up when the pressure is on. Since they value comfort, they don't persevere when the going gets tough. Millionaires go to the second mile and the third and the fourth. They do whatever it takes to experience abundance. Since they think long term, they keep on keeping on until they achieve abundance and freedom. Millionaires think long term, the middle class thinks short term. So, again, just one checklist. Do you think short term or long term? Distinction 9. Millionaires talk about ideas, the middle class talk about things and other people. If I spend a few minutes listening to you talk, I can tell where you are headed in life. Your words reveal your heart and mind. They give an accurate picture of your future. Now, this is such an accurate a statement about who we are. Talk to the person, and whatever that comes out of their mouth, it's their fate. What do you spend your time talking about? Your words are like the ship's rudder. They determine which direction you are going in life. Millionaires spend most of their time talking about ideas and very little time talking about things or other people. The middle class rarely talks about ideas and spends the majority of its time talking about things and other people. I once saw a plaque in a businessman's office that said, "Big people talk about ideas, average people talk about things, the small people talk about other people." That is worth repeating. Big people talk about ideas, average people talk about things, and small people talk about other people. What do you spend your time talking about? Ideas, things, or people? And I actually looked back at myself, and surprisingly, well, it's not a surprise, I guess. The reason I'm a middle class or maybe a poor person is because I talk about things and people. And then when I meet other people, I talk about things and people. I rarely talk about ideas. So this was like a wake up call, and I was looking at the people around me. What are we talking about when we meet together? And basically, it's a lot about things and people. So I want to surround myself with people who talk about ideas instead of things and people. There are three types of people: those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who say what happened. Talking about things. Middle class people talk about things that came from a millionaire's idea. They talk about things like cars, sports, entertainment, music, and vacations. Millionaires own the car companies. Millionaires own the sports team. Millionaires produce the movies and television shows. Millionaires produce the music. Millionaires own the vacation spots. The middle class spends its money on the things that they were created by a millionaire's idea. Look at more closely at entertainment. The middle class and the very poor are often Hollywood's biggest fans. They live for the gossip. They can't wait to see who did what. They are glued to their television sets. Talking about people. Oftentimes, the middle class and the very poor are poor financially because they are poor emotionally. You can't become rich without building good relationships. If you spend much time talking negatively about others, it'll cost you emotionally and financially. Talking about people behind their backs is an immature ignorance. Millionaires respect people, they give people the benefit of the doubt, and realize that people are doing the best they know how to do. We can always find something someone is doing that we don't like or approve of it. I suggest you look at for what people are doing right and compliment them on it. Millionaires are complimentary people. They understand the wisdom of making people feel important. Tearing down people is foolish because it puts you in a negative attitude and often traps you there. Don't get caught in the trap of talking about other people. It affects you in a negative way, more than you may realize. Stop criticizing and start complimenting. You will feel better and the doors of opportunities will start to open. People love to be praised. Learn to praise people and you will find that people will do whatever they can to help you. Millionaires do talk about things and people, but not in the same way that the middle class does. Millionaires talk about the great ideas someone had. They talk about the people who created wealth with their ideas and discuss what they can learn from them. Talking about ideas. Why do millionaires spend their time talking about ideas? The answer is because they understand that it takes ideas to make money. The middle class thinks that you must have money to make money. Millionaires know better. They understand that the right idea will attract the money they need. Ideas are the most valuable asset in the world. People who come up with great ideas end up with great wealth. Everything you see first started as an idea in someone's mind. If you want to become richer, then spend your time thinking about new ideas. When you get an idea, discuss it with people who are successful. And this is so true. If you look at anything, like just look around your room, the books, the computer, the TV, or the table, the design, the everything, the building, it came from someone's mind. It came from someone's idea. And some people have made fortunes out of those ideas, like, a Facebook or Airbnb. It was an idea. And because it has created value, the founder has gotten very rich. A major point here, do not discuss your ideas with people who are unsuccessful. If you do, they will discourage you. Millionaires talk about ideas with other millionaires. They don't discuss their ideas with people who have a limited mentality. The middle class mentality is limited because it doesn't acknowledge the power of ideas. Money is powerful, but ideas are even more powerful. What can you do? Taking time to dream every day increases your creativity. When you consciously use your imagination on a regular basis, then you will start a constant flow of ideas that can make you money. So here are a couple of simple ways to talk about ideas more than things and other people. Number one, change your vocabulary. Talking about ideas requires a different vocabulary than the middle class uses. Use words like possible instead of impossible, can instead of can't, and I will instead of I should. Millionaires have a positive vocabularies. This is not be positive hocus pocus. Words are powerful. Listen to your middle class friends and you will find their conversation is much more like pessimistic than optimistic. Millionaires speak with a strong faith. They believe that they can turn their ideas into reality, and they do. Number two, stop complaining and start learning. When the middle class complains, it is talking about ideas and other people. I believe that whatever you complain about, you get more of. Complain about the bills or debts, you get more of, and then you get more of them. Complain about the people treating you unfairly, and you will continue to be treated unfairly. Complain about how bad your job is, and it will get worse. The power of your words creates the experiences of your life. I think this line is worth repeating. The power of your words creates the experiences of your life. So again, just to check, what kind of words are you using to yourself? The words you use reveal your heart and mind. Is your heart full of disrespect for the people in your life? Is your mind full of negative thoughts? Listen to the words you speak and you will know. People who complain are literally cursing themselves. The next time you're tempted to complain, ask yourself, what is life trying to teach me? There's always a lesson to be learned when something doesn't go your way or when things appear to be difficult. The lessons of a life come to teach us to look at life from a new perspective. This leads to new ideas. Learn to see from a different point of view, and you will have exciting new ideas to talk about. Distinction 8. Millionaires embrace change. The middle class is threatened by change. Change can be a positive or a negative. The problem is we don't know which it will it be when the change first presents itself. People who don't mind positive change, they actually want positive change. The problem with the middle class is it assumes change will be negative most of the time. Millionaires assume that all change, positive or negative, will benefit them. Nito Quibben says, for the timid is our society, change is frightening. For the comfortable, change is threatening. But for the truly confident among us, change is opportunity. Choice versus wish. Millionaires choose to be rich. The middle class wishes it were rich. There's a big difference between a choice and a wish. A choice is backed by a belief that you can do it. A wish is backed by a doubt that you can. Doubt is a code word for fear. The middle class is afraid it can't or won't become rich. What's inside of you? A belief you can do it or a fear that you can't? Change shows you that what you're made of. It reveals what's inside of you. If you get angry when the change comes, it's because you have anger inside of you. If you get worried when change occurs, it's because you are fearful. If you complain when change happens, it is because you are ungrateful. Millionaires don't complain or worry or get angry when change occurs. They look for the opportunity it brings. Change always gives you the opportunity to grow and become stronger. Change teaches us new things that we need to learn. The more we learn, the stronger and more confident we become. Change is good. The quicker you accept when it comes, the sooner you will learn the lesson. The quicker you learn the lesson, the sooner you will start enjoying your new strength. It feels great when you increase your confidence. Enjoy the feeling of growing and getting stronger. Embrace change when it comes and learn to fly. Distinction 7. Millionaires take calculated risks. The middle class is afraid to take risks. The middle class is trapped in a rat race because it doesn't take risks. The only way out of the rat race is to take risks. The only way out of the rat race is to take risks. No, that is not a typo. I intentionally wrote it twice. In fact, let me write it one more time. The only way out of the rat race is to take risks. If you take risk out of your life, you take opportunity out of your life. Millionaires take calculated risks. What does calculated mean? It means to gain knowledge first and to consider the consequences of failing before taking action. So use knowledge to overcome fear. Millionaires overcome fear with knowledge. Fear is darkness and knowledge is light. Light causes darkness to disappear. Knowledge causes fear to disappear. Millionaires educate themselves before taking risks, and then they consider the consequences of failing. Millionaires don't throw their money around and hope for a return. Millionaires practice risk management, and one of the simplest ways to manage risk I learned from my mentor, Nito Quibben. He taught me to ask these 3 questions. 1. What's the best thing that could happen? 2. What's the worst thing that could happen? 3. What's mostly likely to happen? The fear of failure. It's not a matter of if you will fail, it's a matter of when. Millionaires understand that failure is part of the path to success. They do not fear failure. They embrace it when it comes and become wiser. The reason middle class fears failure is because it thinks failure is bad. Millionaires think failure is good. It gives them the opportunity to learn and grow. So, a question for you. How do you react when you make a mistake or when you fail? Fear of rejection. The middle class puts too much importance on the acceptance of others. We all want to others to accept us. We all want to be successful. Here's a key to success: you must want to succeed more than you want the acceptance of other people. Someone once said one third of the people will like you, one third won't, and one third doesn't care either way. Millionaires understand they can't please everybody. If you are addicted to the approval of people, this will keep you from taking risks. You must not let your need for acceptance keep you from taking risks. Simply understand that some people are going to reject you no matter what you do. And then do what you need to do to succeed. This is so true. I started my YouTube channel last 2020 October, and I had lots of ups and downs, and it's heartbreaking almost when one subscriber unsubscribes themselves from my channel. It's like a big rejection, and I'll spend a couple of weeks, weeping or depressed because some people don't like the product or the content that I've uploaded. And I think it's true. Like, some people will not like the work, some people will. So don't focus on the people that left. Focus on the people that is still sticking around. And I guess the people who's listening to this booktube right now. I will focus on you guys. Remember, knowledge is light and fear is darkness. Shine the light into the darkness, and you will have the courage to take action. Millionaires overcome their fears and take action. The middle class submits to its fears and lives with regrets. Be able to say, I did instead of I should. Calculate your risks by educating yourself and asking those three questions. Distinction 6. Millionaires continually learn and grow. The middle class thinks learning ended with school. Why is it that multi-million dollar homes have libraries? Is it just a coincidence that million dollar homes have them and $100,000 homes don't? I don't think so. Most millionaires I know read one book a week. In my circle of influence, we are always recommending books, audio programs to each other. One of my friends has spent 500,000 studying success. I have spent $100,000 on success education. If you have a middle class mentality, you're probably thinking, I don't have that kind of money to spend to learn how to make money. The power of books and coaches. You can start with books. I promise you, millionaires read and read and read and read. Books are so inexpensive compared to how much the knowledge they contain is worth. Are you aware that you can learn a concept only a few hours from a book that took someone years to develop? So, if you can't read a book, you can always listen to a book from my channel. Knowledge is a seed. Millionaires focus on personal growth. They believe that that to have more, they must become more. They see growing as one of the main purposes of life. Growth takes time. Be patient with yourself as you gain knowledge. Realize that knowledge is a seed, and it takes time for seeds to grow into trees, then bear fruit. Every time you read a book, you are either planting another seed or watering some that are already in your mind. Millionaires read books about money, how to build better relationships. They read about power of the mind. They read about the success and failures of others. Millionaires are serious students of successful life, not just financial success. They continually look for new ways of thinking and acting that can produce more fulfillment in their lives. So study what you love. The secret to becoming or being a lifelong learner is to study what you love. Study success and learn how to make money, but also learn how to be content with where you are while in pursuit of what you want. I repeat, millionaires love life. They love life. They love what they do to make money, and then they love having money. But they don't love money above life itself. If you love money more than your family or yourself, you have been deceived by it and will never achieve true success. So please study financial success and personal fulfillment. It feels good to have more. It feels good to have money. It feels even better to have deep and meaningful relationship with those you love. And it feels great to have both. Learn to love yourself and others, and learn to earn massive amounts of money. Distinction 5. Millionaires work for profits. The middle class work for wages. People who work for wages end up earning enough to live on, but not much more. It is rare for someone to make enough money from an hourly or salary position to become financially free. Millionaires understand this and choose to work for profits instead of wages. Wages are the pay you receive for the work you do. Profits are the result of buying something for one price and selling it for a higher price. Millionaires are in the sales business. If you depend on wages for your income, then your income will always be extremely limited. If you learn to earn profits, then the sky is the limit. And I think this is a very big mental shift for me because I think I've been trained or educated to work for wages, to get a job and get paid by the hourly rate. But the book says you can't be wealthy with just the hourly income. So you need to buy an asset and make profit or start making profit. So this is a great distinction that I think that I really like. You see, when you work for wages, they can only increase gradually. When you work for profits, you have the potential of increasing your income dramatically in a short time. I haven't worked for wages in almost 10 years now, and I never plan on working for wages again. If you want to become a millionaire, you must learn to work for profits. Distinction 4. Millionaires believe they must be generous. The middle class believes it can't afford to give. One day I was in a sub shop buying myself lunch. A man about 19 years old served me. The total came to just about under $5. I paid him with a $10 bill. And when he handed me a $5 bill and some changes, I put the coins in my pocket and handed him the $5 bill. Here, this is for you, I said. For a second, he looked confused. Then he said, "Are you serious?" "Yes," I said. "Holy crap," he exclaimed. He couldn't believe it. His response to my giving him only $5 was amazing. So learn to be generous. Being generous is fun. It feels great when you give from the heart. I have given total strangers money on numerous occasions and will continue to do so throughout my life. It's a good habit to be generous, to make sure money never controls you. I once heard a spiritual teacher tell of a test you can do to see if you possess money or if money possesses you. The test: give it away. If you can do that, then you possess your money. If you can't, then your money possesses you. I think this is a great test, right? Can you give away money to strangers, or are you just gonna keep them for yourself? And this chapter, he gives a bunch of stories where he was generous, and I think I'll read you one of his stories. My wife and I were at the conference in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was about 11:30 p.m. Our meeting had ended and we were hungry. We drove around and found a Domino's pizza parlor in a small strip mall. I went in to order our pizza and came back out into the parking lot to wait for it. I was standing next to our car. My wife was in the car with the door open and we were listening to some music. A group of about 8 young black men between the ages of 10 and 15 were walking down the sidewalk in front of the strip mall. Intuitively, I sensed they were going to start some trouble with us. I offered a quick thanks for God's protection in our lives. When the boys got close to our car, one of the youngest in the group started to step off the sidewalk toward me. The oldest looking boy in the group grabbed his arm and said, "No, man, don't." The boys walked a few more steps and turned around the corner of the strip mall onto the side street. My wife saw the boys walk by, but she didn't notice anything else. I asked her if she thought we should offer to buy them a pizza. She smiled and said, "Yeah." I walked around the corner and the boys were about 20 yards away. The young one who was going to start trouble saw me and said, "Hey guys, look." Then he pulled a gun out of his pants and pointed it directly at my face. The oldest looking boy once again intervened and grabbed the gun from him. Then he asked me, "What do you want?" A little shaken, I said, "I want to buy you guys pizza if you want one." He said, "Really?" "Yeah." "Why would you want to buy us pizza?" he asked. I responded, "Just to do something nice for you. Do you want one?" He said, "Yeah." And they all walked toward me. I asked them what kind they wanted and went inside to order it. While I was inside, the boys asked my wife if I was a cop and I was trying to bust them. She said no. They also asked her why I wanted to buy them a pizza. She explained that we like to be generous. I came out and waited with the boys while the pizza cooked. I talked to them about their hopes and dreams, though they didn't seem to have any. They were quiet and reserved and very thankful when the pizza was ready. I talked to them a few minutes about having faith for good things to happen to them, and then we said goodbye. Being generous is a witness to others' kindness and love. It benefits the giver as much as maybe even more than the receiver. Distinction 10. Millionaires have multiple sources of income. The middle class only has one or two. Again, this is a great chapter. Another mental checklist. How many sources of income do you have? Let's compare dollars to fish. Would a fisherman catch more fish if he had two lines in the water? Of course. There's a greater possibility that he would. And what if he had five lines in the water? It's easy to see that the more lines he has in the water, the more fish he has a possibility of catching. Money is like that. The more sources of income you can develop, the more likely it is you will become a millionaire. For every millionaire who has achieved her wealth doing only one thing, there are a dozen others who became financially free by combining several forms of income. Passive income. The trick to developing multiple sources of income is to focus on making them passive income. By passive, I don't mean you don't have to work. I mean they require little maintenance or management from you personally. Second way, he says, build a team. Millionaires have also developed the special skill of getting people to work together, which pays handsomely. It is a skill, however, that takes time to develop. It is the ability to get people to embrace one another's differences and to assign the right person to the right position. Many companies struggle simply because they have the wrong people in the wrong positions. Getting people to work together means you must develop an atmosphere of trust. Millionaires build teams of people who complement one another, not compete with one another. When you have a team members who compete with one another, it is difficult to get them to trust one another. There is no limit to what can be accomplished if it doesn't matter who gets the credit. People who trust one another can accomplish far more than any one person could on his own or her own. Practice intentional congruence. Let's look at the term I learned from my mentor, Nito Quibbin. Intentional congruence. It is the essence of how to create successful multiple sources of income. Intentional means doing something on purpose, a planned event, a thought out action. Congruence means connected, alignment, agreement. Things work well together. Intentional congruence is practiced by the very wealthy. It is the methodical planning. The power of intentional congruence is getting each source of passive income to support the others. When you first start a new source of income, you must focus on it. Focus is power, and all millionaires possess this power. There are two ways you need to focus in order to put intentional congruence to work in your life. You must focus like a laser on specific parts of the big picture of your life, and you must learn to focus like a spotlight on the entire big picture. If you focus on passive sources of income, build a team, and practice intentional congruence, it is impossible to spread yourself too thin. You must be careful, however, not to let the middle class mindset keep you from taking action and trying new things. Passive income, teams, and intentional congruence are the three-strand cord that is not easily broken. They build a strong financial life. Distinction 2. Millionaires focus on increasing their net worth. The middle class focuses on increasing its paycheck. Everyone has heard the saying, work smarter, not harder. Focusing on your net worth is working smart. Working for a paycheck is working hard. Millionaires attain financial freedom because they work hard in the beginning to build their net worth. Once their net worth is built to a certain level, they are free to do what they want, when they want. The middle class is trapped in the rat race. The rat race is get up, go to work, pay bills, get up, go to work, pay bills, get up, go to work, pay bills. Which is, I think, the life that I'm living right now. Millionaires get up, do what they love, spend time with their families, donate to causes they believe in, travel to exotic places, and continue to look for investments to increase their net worth. So if you look at the two comparisons, I think everyone would like to be a millionaire. A millionaire's definition of net worth. The typical definition of net worth is assets minus liabilities. Most people think an asset is anything they own that has value. While this is the definition most people use, it is not the way millionaires think about assets and when it comes to money. It is wiser to think like a millionaire than like most people. Millionaires look at assets as a thing they own that have value and earn passive income for them. A middle class person may have small assets that have some value, but these assets typically don't produce a passive income. So please think about an asset as something of value that also produces a passive income for you. Your liabilities are the things you owe money for, like mortgages, car payments, credit card debts, and school and personal loans. Subtract the amount of money you owe from the things you own that have value and produce passive income. This figure is your true net worth. A net worth that doesn't produce a passive income is worthless as far as the millionaires are concerned. Millionaires focus on increasing their net worth, which simultaneously increases their passive income. Millionaires make their money work hard for them. The middle class works hard for its money. So, what do you work for? Do you work for money, or does money work for you? One, as your paychecks get bigger, so do your taxes. Two, your paycheck gets bigger, so does your dependence on someone else's. And I think this is a wake-up call where instead of just desiring a job that pays you well, because taxes will increase and then you're more dependent on that person who's employing you, focus on the net worth of yourself. So turn your paycheck into passive income. Working for a paycheck is not wrong or bad. It's just hard work for most people, and it is risky. Many people who are millionaires today once worked for a paycheck. How did they become financially free? By using their paychecks to buy assets. Most millionaires had a season in their lives when they worked hard a lot. They worked hard to buy assets. Buying assets that produce passive income is not easy at first. It requires new knowledge, which is gained by many hours of personal study. Millionaires not only work hard, they also study hard to learn how to acquire income producing assets. Increasing your net worth with assets that produce passive income is a skill, and skills require time to develop. Patience, knowledge, and wisdom are required to increase your net worth. Be patient with yourself. Gain knowledge about assets and then use wisdom. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. Some middle class people have knowledge about passive income and increasing their net worth, but they haven't applied it yet. Millionaires apply the knowledge they gain. They also continually increase their knowledge. Millionaires have knowledge of and invest in some things that the middle class doesn't even know exist. So millionaires have uncommon wisdom. They do not increase their spending when their income increases. They increase their investing. The middle class spends its income on liabilities. Millionaires invest their income in assets. Investing in an asset that produces passive income is the essence of wealth building. I think that's a gold nugget right there. Would you like to be... I think I'm going to skip that part and go to this last distinction. Distinction 1. Millionaires ask themselves empowering questions. Middle class people ask themselves disempowering questions. On the surface of this distinction may seem unimportant. I assure you it is a profound principle. When you develop the habit of asking yourself empowering questions, your life will take on new meaning and success is inevitable. The distinction reflects a universal principle that is summed up in the ancient scripture. Ask and you will receive. You will receive answers for whatever questions you ask. So you better ask empowering questions. The bigger your questions, the better. Learn to ask yourself questions that stretch you beyond your current levels of experience. Questions hold the answers that you need to succeed. So example of empowering questions. Which question is more empowering? How can I double my income this year? Or how can I get enough money to pay the bills this month? Do you see the difference? It takes the same amount of mental energy to think about answering the big questions as it does the small question. Think about questions that expand your mind because you will receive answers for any questions you ask. So let's look at some more examples. How can I make $1 million a year doing what I love? Or how can I get my boss to give me a raise? Good question. I think I've been asking the second one. How can I get more a raise next year? What is life trying to teach me right now? Or why do bad things always happen to me? How can I develop a deeper relationship with my spouse? Or why is it so hard to get along with my spouse? What can I do to show my kids I love them today? Or why don't my kids appreciate me? What would I enjoy doing to stay strong and healthy? Or why is it so hard to lose weight? Who can teach me to earn a minimum of 25% return on my investments? Or why is it so hard to save money? How can I increase my peace of mind? Or why am I always stressed? So, questions control the way you feel. Empowering questions ask what you can do, and disempowering questions ask what you can't do. Disempowering questions also ask why things are hard. Empowering questions make you feel good. Disempowering questions make you feel bad. You can control the way you feel by asking yourself empowering questions. So, millionaires are masters at managing their emotions. They're masters at it because they habitually ask themselves empowering questions. When empowering questions become part of your habitual way of thinking, you become a powerful and peaceful person. Empowering questions cause you to reach yourself full potential. The question you ask yourself determines the results you get in your life. Millionaires ask questions that make them rich. Middle class people ask questions that keep them poor. So, here are the 9 empowering questions. I want to ask you 9 empowering questions that everyone must answer in order to achieve true success and happiness. These questions deal with who you want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to have. If you take the time to answer these questions honestly, you will find yourself on a path to success. So here's the 9. 1. What kind of person do I want to be? 2. Why do I want to be that kind of person? 3. How can I be that kind of person? 4. What do I want to do? 5. Why do I want to do it? 6. How can I do it? 7. What do I want to have? 8. Why do I want to have it? 9. How can I create it? Your answers to these questions must be clear. Be clear, I mean specific. The more specific your answers to these questions, the better. Clarity is power. Millionaires know what they want. More important, they know why they want it. And because they have decided what and why, they're able to find how. The middle class doesn't know how to become millionaires because it doesn't have an exciting what or an empowering why. When you answer the why questions, you may discover that you are becoming someone else you wanted to become, or that you are doing the things other people want to do to you, but you don't really want to, or that you desire things because others told you to. Trying to live up the expectations of others is a trap. Discover who you really want to be, what you really want to do, and what you really want to have. Make sure to keep these questions in be, do, have order. The type of person you want to be should determine what you want to have, what you want to do, and have. Many people in the middle class have this backwards. They think what they have determines what they do, and what they do determines what kind of person they are. Looking at life like this is a sure way to experience confusion. Who am I determines what I do and what I have. Instead of asking what's the meaning of my life, ask what would make my life meaningful. That is more empowering question. Your honest answer to the question will reveal the answers to the first question. The meaning of our lives is not to have success, but to be successful. Asking yourself who you are becoming is perhaps the most empowering question. For centuries, people have asked themselves the question, who am I? I suggest you ask yourself, who am I becoming? If you don't like your answer to that question, then ask, who do I want to become? And do whatever it takes to become that kind of person. Being a millionaire is about being, doing, and then having. And I think this last chapter is probably the best because, I mean, if I go through the 10 checklist or top 10 distinctions, I think I fit 10 out of 10 to middle class or poor people. And this last chapter, which is about empowering questions, I've always had it backwards. For me, it was like, what do I want to have? Or what do I want to do? And what do I want to be? And I think flipping that is a powerful way to start. It starts from who you are, it starts from you. So I hope the book was helpful. And again, it's a short book, so I strongly recommend to get it. And if you forget everything, just go to the last distinction, which is distinction one, and answer the nine empowering questions and have a different direction of your life. Thank you for listening and have a great day.